Presented by Callan Construction. Together, we can help cure childhood cancer. Call 414-978-9500 or donate online at 1029thehog.com.
You are still tuned to the Bob and Brian MACC Fund Radiothon. Thanks to Lindsay Slater from Channel 12 for stopping by. Again, you want to check out all the items that are up for bid until 5 o'clock today. This is 5 o'clock. We're not fooling around. This is a hard 5 o'clock.
3:19 away.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
That's my math.
Yeah, it's Fireman Jim, everybody.
Yes, that's
Welcome.
me.
You're good at math.
I am good at math.
Fireman
That's one
Jim.
thing I got going for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That and your devilish good looks.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And you can see Fireman Jim. We're streaming.
This is weird, so I should have shaved.
How's he look, Pat?
Do I look good?
Yeah, okay. Pat says, yeah, thumbs up.
That's all that matters.
Pat's running the cameras
As long
today.
as you look good on radio, that's
Yeah.
all that matters.
Yeah.
It's all smooth sailing now.
Go to our website, 1029thehog.com. Check that out. 5 o'clock, they come off the board. We got the dinner experience, 5 o'clock steakhouse, the NTT IndyCar weekend at Road America, $250 Manual Motors gift certificate, movie passes for a year, 2 tickets to a Bucks home game, foursome in the Bob and Brian Open, Stephanie's twosome in the Bob and Brian Open. We're going to play with her and her husband and a third dude.
She announced that guy?
We don't have a name.
She gave us the name. And we forgot it.
That's all right.
So, but, thanks to Stephanie for stopping by this morning, too.
Yeah.
You had Lindsay.
I just talked to her in the parking lot.
In the parking lot.
A little Star Wars talk going on for a bit.
What'd she say?
I was like, Hayden Christian, you got a bad rap for that movies. He was all right. Those movies weren't that good. They weren't good, all right? They just weren't.
I had no opinion of his performance.
Yeah.
I watched the Mark Hamill stuff.
Okay.
And his performances aren't going to knock you out either.
They're better, I think.
But nobody got on.
I think they spent all their money on Alec Guinness,
They did.
He was like the actor in that.
That was the one
They
that
lucked out on Harrison Ford.
Right.
Who became a good actor.
Correct. Yeah, Mark Hamill was a newbie.
Yeah.
But can you picture anybody else besides him playing Luke Skywalker? You just can't. Of course you can't.
But, he's so,
Peter Boyle.
Been a long time.
Peter Boyle
is
young
Luke Skywalker.
Frankenstein. Yeah. Maybe not. But it's good to see a nice Star Wars fan like that. Mm-hmm. She knows her Star Wars, especially the new stuff. I'm not a new stuff kind of guy.
Right.
But
you didn't watch The Mandalorian?
I did.
You did?
I did enjoy that. But since then, I haven't watched Obi-Wan Kenobi or the animated stuff.
Boba Fett.
Or I saw that as well.
All right.
Yeah. I did like those. But 7, 8, 9, they were entertaining. But not like 4, 5, and 6. But, that's my era.
You memorized those.
I had them all memorized. Now, not so much. But, yeah, I could do the audio before the video and make you angry if I watched it.
You think that's apathy or old age, Fireman Jim?
Yes. Yes to both. Yeah, 100%. You became a Star Wars guy finally, right?
I watch them. I would not throw myself into a discussion about, well, Bob, what's your opinion? I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, I used to. 4, 5, and 6.
You know the codes.
I knew the codes. I knew all of that. 7, 8, and 9. 1, 2, and 3, not at all. And 7 and 9, I've seen like once or twice each only.
Mm-hmm.
I would call myself a Mad Men expert or a Sopranos expert.
What about when you were younger? When you were 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, what were your go-to movies back then?
Dirty Dozen.
Okay.
You couldn't just go to any movie. You couldn't just watch any movie you wanted.
Your nearest theater was what, like 10 miles away?
From my house?
More than that.
It was at least 10 miles.
Yeah, so you couldn't jump on the Route 67 Milwaukee County bus and head to Northridge and go see a movie.
Just had to be, ready for whatever was on,
Right.
NBC, Sunday night at the movies.
Which were good back then.
Well,
they showed some good
movies. Anywhere else to play them.
Whether they were good or not, that's all we had.
The Poseidon Adventure.
Some of them were good.
Shelley Winters.
Yeah.
The Poseidon Adventure. That was mid-70s.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, no. So I was lucky enough that I was on a bus route that could go to Mayfair, Mill Road, Northtown, and Northridge, right next to my house. So I any theater I wanted to go to, I was there.
You were a regular Siskel and Ebert, weren't you, going to all those movies?
I told you this. I was the movie critic for the Pious Scope back in the early 80s. I was the official movie critic.
Did you have Jim's picks or what?
I had, no, it was just my reviews. And I remember my first review ever was First Blood, Stallone.
Well,
Oh, I loved it, of course.
4 stars.
4 stars.
Okay.
I would have gave it 10 stars. It was so good. When you're 14 and going to see First Blood at Northridge Theaters,
You're right in the audience they're shooting
yeah, I wanted to buy a huge knife.
for. Yeah.
I brought my chucks to the show.
Sure.
I always had my
wouldn't you?
nunchucks on me at Northridge. Just you never knew what could happen. I always carried my chucks.
Were they? Did you know how? No,
I thought I did. I didn't.
you just whirled them around like left,
whirled
right,
around
left,
like
right.
yeah, like some crazy.
They
man.
clacked.
Yeah,
You-
no, I tried. I thought I was Bruce Lee. No, I was. Yeah, I pulled him over my head. And that's what got me. That's what got me.
Who are you threatening these? Who are you threatening with those?
Nobody. Entertaining my friend,
Yeah.
and that got me the lifetime ban in Northridge. We've talked about that story.
Yeah.
And who got the last laugh out of that?
The mall cop.
No, you did because they're tearing that dump
They're tearing
down.
it down, but still there. My picture is probably still on the wall in the security office.
I bet it's been stolen.
Think-
Everything else has been
worth
stolen
some
out
money,
of there.
Probably the Polaroid. Smile for the camera, ninja. It's like, oh.
Don't think you can walk
Don't
through
take
there
my picture.
with all the nunchucks you want now.
So the security, the mall cop taunted you when he was taking your picture?
Yeah. He's a mall cop, first of all, and then he's got some 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid he's throwing out for life.
What actual power does a
He
mall?
had no power.
Like, you probably could have sued him for kidnapping.
Right, some kind of constitutional infringement of rights.
The security office was, you took the secret Northridge hallway past. There was a secret hallway that went past like the bathrooms and all that, and the security office was about as big as the studio. And he sat you down. At first, he had me by the arm, and he was squeezing my arm pretty hard. He was muscling me.
Yeah.
I was like 5'4", weighed like maybe 100 pounds.
But you had a lot of willpower.
My chucks weighed more than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took me in, and you're out of here, man. You're out. Out.
Did you bag
You're
him?
not coming back.
No, not out.
I was like,
No,
what?
not out. What?
Not even a chess king? Not even a chess king, man. You're out of here.
And how are they going to enforce this?
He had my Polaroid.
They would have to.
Which was what? All over the entire mall?
There was like 6 Polaroids on the wall, and I was one of them.
Yeah. This guy.
All like 15-year-old kids.
Sure.
Banned for life.
And
I almost got banned from Mayfair for trying to steal quarters out of the goldfish pond.
Well, now that's wrong.
That is wrong. And I shouldn't have been doing it, and I was justified. I didn't take any because that was bad.
Okay.
why were you fishing around there in the first place? What was...
I ran out of quarters. I was playing Pac-Man at Aladdin's Castle, and I needed some more quarters.
You can't be the only kid who was at the mall who had that idea. You can't be.
They were looking for it.
Did they have signs up that says, do not remove
You
any...
shouldn't have to. Even Northridge and Southridge both had little ponds that people threw change in. Mm-hmm. Little
Wishing
fountains.
wells, yeah.
Yeah, little wishing wells, yeah. It's like, oh, there's a quarter.
I wish I had
should
a penny.
A lot of nickels and dimes in there, but there's a quarter. I can see
Yeah.
it. It's within reach.
Who's the big spender who's throwing the quarter in the wishing well?
Right, hey? Yeah, ran out of quarters at Pac-Man. It can happen, though. It can happen. Now, nowadays, I don't even know if arcades even exist. If they do, it's probably $2 for a video.
Didn't we have somebody open up a couple of arcades?
There's
Wasn't
some
there?
retro ones that
Yeah,
run in the
in the
falls.
falls.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I sold
Where
I had a vintage Tron
Where you
machine.
paid X amount for like a couple hours
Like
or
$10
whatever.
so you can play
and
for an hour?
Yeah, you could play for as long as you wanted, right.
You go play those games now, and I mean, I love them, but after about an hour, you're like, these are pretty repetitive. This is the same thing over and
They're
over.
counting on that.
They are.
When you go in there for your 2 hours, okay, have fun.
Yeah, take it. And after an hour, you're like, all right, I'm going to get a soda and get out of here.
Yeah.
But there's some good games back then. But, nowadays games, like I can crush my son in the old time games, but of course, the new stuff, I don't even understand how those things work.
Well,
They're not made for me, that's for sure.
they're not.
No. Bring back Northridge. If you want to buy up Northridge, it's still there. It's not quite torn down yet.
How much of it is gone? Because weren't they working on Boston store a week or so ago, too?
If I was still a firefighter, they're responding to fires there like every month. Mm-hmm. People are trying to torch that place, but it's still there. I think part of it might be torn down, but
Yeah.
it's still. I hear you walk in that place like walking into a time capsule. It's like you open the doors, like, oh yeah,
Let's go.
It looks the same.
Let's go.
I'd go.
When we're done at 5,
Take your chucks with you.
My chucks. He took them. He took
Can't
them.
just saw up a broom and find some rope.
That's what it was. It was pretty much a broom, a wooden broom handle connected by some leather rope.
What are you talking about? We'll just get them when we get there. They're probably in the desk drawer.
They're probably still
Go
in
to the
desk
security
drawer.
office. Take them out of there.
Next to some ninja
Got
stars.
these back. That'll show.
I used to carry ninja stars too. Like I was going to use them.
Did you spend all of your money on fireworks, nunchucks,
Fireworks, yes.
and Death Star?
And what cool 12-year-old didn't? Firecrackers,
Cool
ninja
12-year-old.
stars,
You're right. I was going to say I wasn't a cool 12-year-old.
BMX bikes. That was it.
Yeah.
That's where your money went. If you had a paper route, if you could afford it, which I could.
I hope. What are they going to put on Northridge when they level it and decontaminate
That's a big
it?
hunk of land, but it's so far.
Whatever else. Is it going to build a warehouse there? Is it going to become a distribution center?
I
Is
would
it
think
gonna,
it's not made for condos. I mean, it's a huge.
aren't there
area.
condos?
Northridge Lakes used to be like prime time condos back in the late 80s. That was like where all the yuppies lived.
Okay, I haven't been up in that area in a long time. Are they still there?
They're still there, but
They're
it's
still
not-
there.
It's not prime. No. It's not like it was where it was like, where do you live? Northridge Lakes. You must be rich. Yeah, not so much anymore. So Northridge still there. I don't think it's going to reopen. So it's probably coming down.
Oh, it's
I
coming
know.
down.
They said that for
down.
the last 20 years, though.
But now they've got all their
Now
paperwork in order.
someone's
Didn't
gonna
the
pay for
the
it,
season, The city seized control of it, right?
Right, but the city's going to pay to tear it down. So it's going to sit there until somebody foots the bill for it.
No.
Or they bring
Jim,
it back.
Jim,
They
Do I
bring it back.
do I have to explain everything to you?
Yeah, you do.
This is an election year.
Oh,
This is when money is flying out the door in Washington.
that's true.
Because everybody wants your vote.
They do.
We'll get some mall demolition money.
Fine.
Something
Bring
like
it
that.
in.
Yeah.
Bring it in. But it's been on, it's closed in what, 1998 or something? I mean, it has to have been closed for 20 plus years.
And the other thing too is you want to put a mall in a landfill? That's going to take up a lot of space. Putting stuff in a mall in a hole.
Not going to happen. Nope.
They're not going to build another mall there.
No. I'm just saying to get rid of the mall, you've got to truck it away one truck at a time.
Right.
And that's got to go somewhere.
You got to find a big landfill because
Yeah.
it's a lot of fill.
That's going to be some ski hill when they're done.
Could be. They just pile it up in a big. That's what a lot of ski hills are. Just
Yeah.
garbage piles.
Yeah. Speaking of ski hills, how are things at the Rock?
Yeah, not very nice. Ski season's over though. In fact, you missed it.
Really? Are
Not
you
the greatest season this year in
Wait a
Milwaukee
minute.
County.
Ski season's over?
It's over.
Didn't you just shovel your sidewalk a couple of days ago?
I did.
You
but
can't,
it's gone. It's
coat
done.
a ski hill with.
Done. We opened the park. In fact, tonight are my first games. We were supposed to open up on Monday. The rain shut that down, so I got my first games tonight. Some high school games, and then it's game on. Here we go. Baseball season's upon us.
This would be
Beautiful.
this what we have outside right now.
Oh, it's great.
Anybody who played baseball in their life played games. You were happy to play on a day
In
like
Wisconsin,
this.
Milwaukee is a high school is a spring season again across the board. So you're playing when it's 38 degrees. You're
Yeah.
playing ball. And that's not fun to play in, but you're playing, and they're playing tonight because the rains are done. And we
How
have
many
turf.
games in the high school season in baseball?
Average team nowadays is probably about 30.
30.
30
okay.
games, yeah. Some non-conference, some conference, and if you're lucky to the playoffs, you have about 30.
And it's going to wrap up when? June?
Early June, yeah.
Early June.
I think states late June if you get all the way to the championship.
Because we are in hard summer when they're wrapping up their
Yeah.
season.
Right.
Yep. We used to have summer baseball, high school as well as spring, but club baseball kind of put the kibosh on summer baseball for high school because half the high school kids that were good would play club ball and not play
Right.
high school, so they want them back on. So that's the way club sports work. But high school season starts tonight.
Concession stands will be open. Everything's open. Is it?
Yes, everything's open. We get the stadium's open already. We got some college teams playing there. That's UW Milwaukee's home field is Franklin Field. And we have other high schools and colleges that'll rent it out when they're not playing. And Milkmen start Mother's Day weekend, spring training May 1st.
Souvenir shop open yet? With
Not quite.
Milkman
Nope.
gear?
The new merch is coming in, though. The
New
2024 merch.
Why was it so hard? Why? I'm not a fan of this merch in dice.
Merch is the cool way to say it.
Was it just that too tough for everybody to indice on the end of it?
No.
Because
you
it's
gotta-
tough.
Yeah.
Everything's
Just,
everything
when the
is-
cool guys start calling something
Everything is shortened now.
Buy a new name.
Actually, merch is not even cool. It's swag.
Yeah.
We got the new Milkman swag is coming in.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not a fan of merch.
Then call it swag.
We can't help you.
We really can't.
The world has moved on.
You're not going to say merchandise.
You're left behind.
I'm going to continue to call it. I'd like to purchase.
All right. Let's put it like this. Is it Bachman Turner Overdrive? Or is it
Bachman what?
BTO?
Bachman what?
Turner
Overdrive.
Or is it BTO?
Okay, that's.
I'm going from, we're doing
right.
the 70s
No,
here.
you put it right.
BOC
right.
or Blue Oyster Cult. You can shrink it. You can
ELO?
Right. You're definitely. You're not going to call
ELP?
it. See? Swag merch.
I want to think of another one.
BOC, what you said? I think three-word band name is probably abbreviated to their initials. You can't think of one more? You're going to get lit up.
I don't think I ever called Three Dog Night TDN.
No, that's true. That's true. Is that weird? Because you know why?
It's never too late.
I'll tell you why. Because they're all one-syllable words. You get in those multi-syllable words, they become initials.
Well, so is Bachman Turner Overdrive.
That's multi-syllable. You said Three Dog Night. That's single.
And that's what I said.
Right.
Are we really having an argument over syllables?
We are.
Is that what we've come to?
That's what we've come to.
Here on the MACC Fund Radiothon, I tuned into a fascinating
I had
argument.
to attack with that one.
That was good. No, it's fine. It's fine. You know what that tells me? You'll argue about anything.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, I won't.
You hang around
do any such thing.
Fireman Jim, are you going to hang around for a little while?
Sure.
Even though we're treating you very rudely here in the studio? Good.
It's the Bob and Brian Radiothon. Bob and Brian Radiothon to benefit the MACC Fund. Presented by Callan Construction. Call 414-978-9500 to make your donation or go online to 1029thehog.com. Now, here's Bob and Brian.
We're under 3 hours now in the MACC Fund Radiothon.
Well, if you want something,
Now's the
get
time.
at it.
Yeah.
2:58 to be, or 2:52 to be exact.
Time-wise, that's what you have, 2 hours and 52 minutes?
That's what I got.
Yeah.
That's my math.
Yeah, it's the MACC Fund Radiothon brought to you by Callan Construction. This hour is brought to you by Durrell Equipment Rental and Boucher.com. You want to make a donation? 414-978-9500. But you can go online and scroll through and check everything out and make your bids and whatnot. And you get your T-shirt if you donate $50 or more. You know, we'll take all you got. Actually,
Bring it. This, I was thinking this has got to be like my 30th. Almost radiothon. I was coming here back in was in the T.A. Burns days.
you were coming here
with my $5
before you were married
$5.
and before you had kids.
Yeah, back when the overnight days. So this might be like 30 because 94.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's 24. I mean, yeah, I come in with my crumpled. I raised $8. I just throw these crumpled, wet dollars at you.
Yes,
You're welcome.
Yeah. Later in the evening.
Well,
Later, it's like that might have been early
That was
morning.
before your
3
fireman-
a.m. Is that late or is that early? I can't tell anymore.
it was
Now it's late.
Yeah, middle
Not
of the
that
night.
early
well, I mean,
anymore.
you wouldn't bring in your donation until after
I'd worked.
the bar
I worked T.A.
closed.
Burns. I DJ'd, raised
you'd
some
come
money.
in probably 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning. Yep.
Didn't you guys walk through T.A. Burns one night, which has been gone for 20 years at least?
Easily. More
Didn't
than
you
that.
walk through there like, hey man, we're raising money for the bar? Just people in the bar, right?
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, with the cigar box or something.
And it was usually Thursday going into Friday. I'd come in because it was Thursday night. So that was might not have been nickel tapper night, but I think it was the wet T-shirt contest. So. And your winnings, ma'am? Could you donate 5% of your winnings?
How long
to
have
the
you been
Bob and
retired?
Brian?
How long have you been retired from the fire department now,
I
Fireman
retired
Jim?
pretty much New Year's Eve 2016. So 2017. So yeah, 6 years.
I have a question.
6 years.
Yes, there's a fire-related question.
All right.
So I get up out of here after a hard day of broadcasting.
Hard day.
And I'm headed up the main road over here. Mm-hmm. And I see lights and hear sirens
Okay.
behind me.
Oh, all right.
And I'm already traveling north on said, big road. Mm-hmm. And I try to stay kind of ahead of them, but I have to pull over.
Eventually you will.
Yeah. And they got by me and all the other cars that were on stated road got ahead of me. They're headed toward the freeway. And they shut their lights off and just kept going.
Oh, you got called off.
Called off.
Yeah. Let's
It's not
say
a fire anymore.
Let's say you're going to a full assignment. All right. Right. Exactly.
What is a full assignment?
full assignment in Milwaukee? 3 engines, 2 trucks, a chief, a squad, a med unit,
Okay.
whatever. So let's say you're third in, like you're the third in engine of the fire. So the first in gets there, and they'll call on the radio, "Hey, nothing showing," and they'll investigate for 30 seconds. False alarm.
So they don't have.
So the
any
third in
flames?
engine, which is still probably a couple miles out because they're coming from a further away firehouse, gets that, and they turn their stuff off.
Gosh, Fireman Jim, I feel terrible now.
Because they weren't just in a hurry to get to Pizza Hut or something.
That's against the rules, man.
Yeah.
We wouldn't do that.
I feel terrible because when Brian told me about that, I thought they just didn't want to wait for the light. They're in a hurry.
They had their sirens on too, right? Or
Everything was full
They got
bore.
called off. They got called off. They were going somewhere.
I had fire trucks coming the other way
Yeah, it was a full-
at me this morning.
Oh,
Coming in.
all right.
And I had been on the major road that I was on for a couple of miles.
Okay.
And I didn't see any flames or nothing.
So they were coming at you.
They were coming the
did
other
they pass
way.
you?
It was a heart attack.
They go to more than fires. Yeah, they go
Yeah.
to medical runs. It could be a gas leak. It
Cat-
could be,
you ever
It was
hear it?
fire trucks.
Did you ever- yeah,
we
they're
go
gonna
to all
need,
that.
They're going to need the ladder to get the cat out of
911
the
is
tree.
called. We go to investigate whatever the problem is.
All right. Well, I'll try to be less suspicious.
Be less suspicious. Yes, please. You never know what the call's coming in for.
I wondered
I
what
feel-
was
Fire
going
calls
on.
are like only about 10% of the calls,
Well,
really.
if I saw a fire,
Right?
I'd expect, trucks to be coming the other way.
Oh, they come
I
from
didn't
all
see
over.
anything.
Well, again, it probably was not a fire call.
All right.
I mean, if you pass smoke, you see, you hear engines and sirens, and then you know, obviously. But if you see nothing, I'm sure it's something. Who knows what it is? It could be.
I feel silly now, Fireman Jim.
Don't feel silly.
Like I should apologize for thinking the worst.
It's quite all right. You learned something. Now you know.
Of our fire department, which is.
Unfortunately, when being a firefighter, you want to fight fires. That's your number one goal, to get to a good fire and put it out, and that's your job. But unfortunately, it's not the most part of your job. Most of it is EMS. By far is medical runs, and then after that, you get your alarm soundings. The alarm sounds. I think it's happened even here, where the smoke detector goes off and the alarm sounds. It goes off to 911 automatically, and we respond until it's proven that it's not a real fire.
See how he still says we? He still thinks he's a fireman. He's in his head.
It's
still a fireman.
Kind of.
You are.
Yeah.
You are. You're a fireman.
Call you a fireman,
a little
Jim,
bit.
so.
And I would never challenge that and say you were a fireman. You are a fireman.
Right.
But yet, when I say I'm a farmer at my house, all I get is you were a farmer.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Get that pushback all the time.
If somebody gave you 10 acres right now and said, hey, why don't you make a hobby farm? Could you do it?
I'd give it back.
Well, hold on now. What?
That's big now,
How old
hobby
were you
farms.
when you first began doing farm work?
12, 13.
And how old were you when you got out of it?
20.
So 7 years.
Okay, so Fireman Jim, you started as a fireman.
94, left in 17. So, 23 years almost.
A little bit of a difference there.
It's a little bit of a difference, but I didn't plan on
23.
When I got there at 13, I didn't plan on being there and getting a pension. And
So you were never fully invested in the farm work.
I think when I was
knew you would be walking away.
when I was standing behind that wagon, I felt pretty invested, loading the bales of hay on there.
So when you're a farmer and just the probie farmer, is that they call them the probies, the new guys, the cub farmers.
Okay, fine.
Is there a name for them? I don't know. You're the
no,
farmer.
It's just you're a farmer.
What was the job? You're like, yes.
Greenhorn, hey, dumbass.
Yeah, greenhorn. What was the job? I was like, yes, I hope I get assigned to shovel manure, or I hope I get assigned
I'm trying to think what was
the job?
Trying to think.
Planting crops?
There was no
castrating calves?
Oh, I hated that when we had to cut the horns off. Stuff like that. When the vet would come for the day, you'd have to go grab it. I didn't like cleaning calf pens out.
No, that's part of it, right?
It's
It doesn't sound like you were invested. You didn't get a rush from anything.
I knew early on.
Where's the rush?
What is the rush from? I mean, farming. It kind of looks romantic almost.
But you just said you got a rush from fighting a fire.
Oh, for sure.
Fighting
Yeah. Oh,
fires.
100%. Oh,
You wanted to go chop a hole in that roof.
driving fire trucks was the best.
Yeah.
Just the best. I mean, you get that call and you're going and you see the black finger in the sky, we got a worker.
Is that what you called it? The black finger?
Yeah.
Oh, there
That's
it
when
is.
there's a lot of names. And you're like, we got one. We got one. And then the boss would call and, hey, smoke showing. And then the crew's coming behind, the second, third engine, like, oh, we got a real fire. They might tap that accelerator a little bit faster. And, once you pull up and you got flames showing, nothing like it.
Is this what Fire
Nothing
Country
like
is
it.
like when you watch it?
No,
the
oh,
rush?
Boy. Oh, it's Friday. There's an episode. There's an
Okay.
episode on tonight, I think.
I'm sorry.
Wait,
I need you. I'm glad it's Friday, and I'm glad you're going to get to watch a new episode of Fire Country.
Tournament.
No, the tournament's not on tonight. Nothing's going to be interrupted by basketball. I just need you to focus because we have Brent Musburger coming up in 13 minutes. Brent Musburger will be joining us.
Maybe he watches
All
Fire
right.
Country.
If you want to ask him about Fire Country, go ahead.
CBS,
I don't think it's going to go.
CBS.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere. But we have Brent Musburger. He will be joining us. See. You're staying
he's
for that?
awesome, man. Heck yeah, I am.
Because Tim's jumping in, too. So it's going to be quite a little round table here with Brent Musburger. He's coming up in just a few minutes.
Help give the gift of hope. More of your favorite athletes and special guests still to come.